What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Football Corner Podcast. It's your host, Jeremiah Queen. And before we get started with today's episode, I want to ask all my viewers out there on YouTube to subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to me on the podcast app, please subscribe to the podcast. Let's cue it up. Week 6 was frustrating if you were a fan of a losing team. As in myself, I am a Jags fan, so it was a very frustrating Sunday. But if you were a fan of a winning team, it should have been very exciting. And with that, let's go to Sunday recap. So the first team I want to hit on will be the Falcons. The Falcons were 6.5 underdogs going against the 49ers. And the Falcons play football. They played smash mouth football. I'm going to hand it to my running back, and we're going to give up the field and get yardage. Arthur Smith, the Falcons head coach, had this team playing really good football all season. Now, you could argue the Falcons could be 4-2 or 5-1 going into this season, but sadly, that's not how the NFL works. A lot of things has to happen for you to win games, and even last week they had a bad call against them, which I won't get into because it would just make me more irritated because the Falcons actually had an opportunity to win that game. But the Falcons redeemed themselves. They play really good football. They ended up getting 2 interceptions off of Jimmy Garoppolo. Not the best day for him. Marcus Mariota ended up having only 1 incompletion all day. Yes, I said that. 1 incompletion. He went 13 of 14 for a little over 180 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown. They played complete football. They didn't get after the quarterback, but they got pressure. What made Jimmy Garoppolo turn the ball over. They won the game 28-14. It's good to see the Falcons bounce back. Arthur Smith and the Falcons are 3-3. The next team I want to talk about is another upset. It'll be the New York Jets. Both teams in New York are playing really good football. The New York Jets are 4-2 through 6 games of the season. And that's, if you're a Jets fan, you have to be really excited about that. Their team is not a passing team. They're not the best running team. I wouldn't even say they're the best defensive team. But they play well-rounded football all throughout. Now, the Jets held the Green Bay Packers to only 10 points. And if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're Matt LaFleur, you must be very disappointed coming out of that game. Because you can't let a team like the Jets, who you are considered to be a underdog. I believe the Packers were 7.5 points favorites in going into that game. Breece Hall had over 100 yards, rushing touchdown. Quentin Williams on defense had 2 sacks against Aaron Rodgers. That defense had 4 sacks total. They were disrupting the Packers, that Packers offensive line. Aaron Rodgers did not seem comfortable. He tried to make a lot of plays happen, but it just did not amount to what they wanted to do. Zach Wilson didn't have the best throwing day, but he didn't have no turnovers. And like I always say, if you don't turn the ball over at all, you have an 80% chance of winning the game. And that's what happened. The Jets are 4-2. They're second in the division, only behind the Buffalo Bills, who are 5-1. Congrats to the New York Jets. The final team I want to discuss is a team that no one believes in because, number one, they're playing with their backup quarterback, who actually happened to be their third-string quarterback, and who's also a rookie, named Bailey Zappi. Now, Bailey Zappi, if you don't know about him, he's a quarterback out of Western Kentucky. He broke Joe Burrow's FBS record for passing 62 touchdowns last college season, and he was drafted in the 4th round. Bailey Zappi wasn't expected to get no playing time this season. He came in 2022 as the third-string quarterback. Mac Jones is injured, and Brian Hoyer is injured. And Bailey Zappi's been playing lights-out football. He's 2-0 as a starter this season, which gives the Patriots a 3-3 record. No one thought the Patriots would be this good. They are playing better football than anyone could have imagined. Bailey Zappi threw for over 300 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. They also had a really good rushing attack. They held the Browns to only 15 points. The Patriots ended up scoring 38 points. They got turnovers. The Patriots are playing really good football. Bill Belichick, don't count him out. His defense comes to play. And they may actually have a quarterback controversy on their hands between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. Those Patriots can play football. All right, now it's time for my favorite segment from this podcast. And it'll be best and worst performances from the week. The best performance, in my opinion, goes to quarterback of the Giants, Daniel Jones. Now, Daniel Jones had 2 passing touchdowns, completed 70% of his passes, and had a 112 passer rating in a victory over the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Daniel Jones was faced a extreme pressure because they were down 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and he needed 2 scoring drives in order for them to get a tie or the lead in the ball game. Now, Daniel Jones led the Giants to 2 touchdown drives, would end up being enough for him to get the victory over the Ravens. Daniel Jones is playing sufficient football as of late. I like what he did on Sunday. He managed the game up until it was time for his number to be called to lead his team down the field in order to get the victory. Now, the worst performance comes from my home team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I will put it on the defense. The defense was atrocious. Now, I love my head coach, Doug Peterson, because he makes adjustments when the Jaguars needs to make adjustments. So, Trevor Lawrence going into that game had 7 turnovers. So, what do our coach do? He only lets Trevor Lawrence pass the ball 7 times in the first half. He runs the ball. The Jacksonville Jaguars offense had over 200 yards rushing. Yeah. So, you would think if your quarterback doesn't have any turnovers, only miss on 2 passes throughout the game, and have over 200 yards rushing, you will win the ball game. And we scored in every quarter. We ended up putting up 27 points. But the problem is that our defensive line could not get pressure at the quarterback. We had 3 hits against Matt Ryan. Frank Wright and the Colts passing offense was very confident because they threw 52 passes. They felt that our pass rush could not get after their quarterback for nothing, and they were not scared of it at all. And the biggest blame I put on the Jaguars defense will have to go to Shaquille Griffin, DB, number 26 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He gave up too many first down catches, and he gave up the game-winning touchdown to a rookie, Alex Pierce from Cincinnati. Now, if you expect your team to be a top-tier defense, in which the Jaguars were, they were top 10 in the yards allowed in the NFL, and they were top 5 scoring defense, only giving up 16 points. But with every team that's trying to figure out how to win, there's always something that happens, whether it's the offense or the defense. Now the Jaguars are trying to figure out a way to mesh both of them together to where both sides are playing good football in order to get more victories. But the worst performance by far will have to go to the Jaguars defense. They were atrocious. It's embarrassing. It makes all the Jaguar fans mad. I think that our highest DB defensive back in Shaquille Griffin should be benched. They should not have kept him in the game. He was not ready to play. I guess on to week 5 against the Giants. Alrighty, now it's time for upset of the day. The team that gets my upset will be the Pittsburgh Steelers with their victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You would think that a team that's a 7.5 point favorite and with a quarterback like Tom Brady and a team that has a lot of great talent on defense and offense, you'll be able to beat up on a injury-prone team. But that's the NFL for you. The NFL has produced a lot of comebacks and upsets throughout the season, and why should this game be no different? Even with their rookie quarterback playing and then getting injured, and having taken their backup quarterback Mitchell Trubisky coming off the bench, having to lead them, get them more points on the board, sustain drives so that the Tampa Bay offense won't get the ball back. I thought Mitch Trubisky played really good football down the stretch. He went 9 for 12 with 146 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and he made the crucial throw to Chase Claypool to put the game out of reach to where the time ran out. Tampa Bay will not be able to have a comeback. The Steelers, coached by Mike Tomlin, came to play. I think a lot of people assume that the Buccaneers will win this game easily because the Steelers have not been playing good football. They have question marks at the quarterback. But Mike Tomlin, even though he had to deal with their starter quarterback getting injured, he coached them. Mitch Trubisky was ready to go. He was not afraid of the moment. Even though, we're talking 2 weeks ago, Mitch Trubisky was having a baseball cap on. He got benched for the rookie because their offense wasn't moving at all. And I felt great. It was good to see him actually be able to have a chance to put the team on his back, make the throws, get a passing touchdown, and seal the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, so the Steelers definitely are going to get my upset of the day. Congrats to them. They are 2-4. They dropped the Buccaneers to 3-3, and now the Buccaneers have a lot of questions regarding their team, their offense, and their defense. Thanks for watching and listening to the Football Corner podcast. Podcast episodes will be dropped on Mondays and Fridays, as well as YouTube videos on Mondays and Fridays. You could click the link in my description to follow the social media links to my podcast social media pages. And also, you'll be able to stay up to date on new drops, new takes, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time.